Hello everyone, welcome to my first video. I hope this looks good. I'm going to talk about your circle design paper. Once you have finished penciling in all of the patterns for your circle design, you're going to start planning the color. For this, you're going to need colored pencils. Some scratch paper would be good, and scratch paper would be fine. That's all you really need. So what I'm going to do first, I don't want to color on my original paper until I know what I'm going to do. Especially if you're a person who's kind of undecided, you definitely want to decide before you start coloring what you want to do. So I have some half sheets, I just cut them in half with some scissors. And I'm going to sketch my design here. So I have a big circle here, I'm going to sketch a circle. Here's a circle, sketch a circle. Here's a circle, sketch a circle. Here's a circle, sketch a circle. This isn't like super neat, it's just a way to be able to map out what I have on my original and start planning colors. Now I'd already started and I had an orange and green yellow color scheme. You guys can choose anything. You can have 3 colors, you can have 5 colors, you can have just black and white if you want. Do something that you're interested in, something that you want to look at for the rest of the school year, because this is going on your sketchbook cover. Me personally, I love green. I'm going to start with green. Just going off of what I've already done here, I'll fill in for you how I do this. I just sketch in color. That's it. I put in general what color I want where, but I'm not worrying about any design work. There's a circle in here. I'm not worrying about any of the design work yet as far as the line patterns. I'm just blocking in color. Okay, so I chose green first, and then I chose orange because I already had orange going, but these are a good color combination because they're very opposite of each other, so that they tend to look good together. If you start with pink, an opposite color of pink might be green. This is in the red family, this is green, these are opposites. If you start with orange, you might choose purple. I don't have a lot of purple colored pencils, so I'm just going to, for the sake of this, show you a purple marker. So yellow and purple, they go well together because they're opposites. If you choose orange, orange and blue are opposites. So once I have, this is what I have so far, I'm going to go ahead and add just a 3rd color. I'm going to use yellow for now. You can always change from this original scheme too. You don't have to keep it the same. This is just a way to get you started so you're not stuck. Let me add a couple more greens in here. And for these, I'm going to leave those plain for now. If you don't like this, you can change it. It took you 4 seconds to make the thing. 1, 2, 3, okay, more than 4 seconds. But still, it didn't take you very long. It's just a generic idea of what you might want to do. Okay, so maybe this time my dominant color is pink. Dominant being the color there is most of, stands out the most. Okay, so do a couple of these. Figure out what you want to do as your dominant color. Once you have an idea, then you're going to move on to the next step. So let me skip now to the next step. I'm going to choose this one to stick with. The next step is to experiment with the colored pencil to see what all the things that you can do with colored pencil. For example, the 3 colors I have as my main colors are orange, yellow, and green. So I want to experiment. This is not exciting. If this were my final piece and I spent a long time making this and all I did was use straight yellow colored pencil, straight green colored pencil, and straight orange, this would be very boring in the end. So what I want to do is experiment with what I can do with yellow and orange and green. So I'm going to, on another scrap piece of paper, I'm going to lay down some yellow. I'm just playing with the color right now. I can make yellow kind of an orangey yellow by adding a light layer of orange. If I add even more orange, I can make it even more orange yellow. And of course I can go all the way to where it's just plain orange. So I have a whole variety of yellow to orange here. On the other side of the yellow, I'm going to add a little bit more here so I can see what colors I can make. I can add green to the yellow to come up with a yellow-green. I can add even more green to the yellow to get even more of a yellow-green, and then finally I just have green. So you have this whole range of color to work with rather than just 3 plain colors. The other thing that you want to do is experiment with layering pen on top of colored pencil. This is one of my designs in my work, so I'm going to experiment with this. Let's say I want to use yellow marker for the line here. Experiment with yellow on top of green. That looks okay. Let's try it on top of orange. Well, it looks okay, but it doesn't really show up very much. So yellow on top of yellow would look nice, or yellow on top of green. Here I have an orange marker. This one's a thicker marker. This is going to be really strong on top of colored pencil. This thickness of line looks too heavy, or it looks very heavy. This is very delicate, and this is very light, or I'm sorry, very delicate and very heavy. I think that thinner markers will work better for you. So if I do a thinner marker, this is a slightly different color of orange, but notice that that is much thinner. If you have small patterns like I do in here, you're definitely going to want to use the thin marker for most of the work, and then take a thicker marker and fill in an area maybe that, like let's say you have a space between lines that's that big and you wanted to fill it in. If I had a thick version of this color, that would be perfect for that. I only have this dark orange, so I'll fill this in. So use the big markers for filling large areas. Other than that, stick to the small markers. They're going to give you much tighter designs, much neater, tighter designs. Okay, so here's my next point to make as you're starting to fill in your areas. You're going to stay really nice and neat with your pencil coloring. The way to get really soft shading with colored pencil is to make sure you have a ton of padding underneath. You can use your table folders, you can use your folders, or you can use scratch paper, but put it underneath your work before you start coloring to get really soft shading. Another way to enhance the softness of your shading is to use a white colored pencil. I don't have one here in front of me, but you go over your color with white colored pencil and it smudges them together, similar to how with regular pencil, white colored pencil does what with regular pencil you can do with your finger, where it just smudges and smooths everything. That's what white colored pencil does for colored pencil. Let's see. I believe that's all for now. So once you have your designs laid out, you're going to do a color map. Do several color maps. They're fast, they're easy, and they help you choose what colors you want to use. Then experiment with the colors, how you might layer them on top of each other. Once you have that, then you can go ahead and start putting in your base colors for all your patterns. I don't like to finish any one thing all the way until I have base color everywhere. So I recommend that you put base colors in where you want them to go, and then go back and add detail.